Uh, Hello everyone, it's Miss Meta Daphne, your environmental activist. I'm glad to meet you again, and today we are going to talk about water. First of all, with me I have a guest. He's going to introduce himself, then we proceed with the topic. Thank you. You're
Uh,
welcome.
Thank you, Daphne, for hosting me. And to my viewers, my name is Joel Enoch Niyozima. I'm an environmental activist. I work with Apollo Forest, and we are regreening Africa. I'm also the founder of Eco Diaries, an initiative that is spotlighting environmental activism stories,
Wow.
specifically African environmental activism stories. And it's a blog platform, it's a blog website, and we are uploading these stories. And particularly today, we are working on a project that we want to discuss more about. It's about water. This is a paradox. Water is the most abundant resource on earth, but yet it is still scarce to some people. And we want to discuss about that.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Joel Nyanzma. I'm so excited to have you today. I've been hearing about you, that you're passionate and activist, and yeah, I'm glad to host you today. So, as I said, we are going to discuss about water as it being the most abundant resource, but again, a scarce one. So, first of all, he's going to ask what is water first. So, Mr. Joel, someone out there wants to know about water. They don't. They hear water, but they don't know what is water. So, in simple terms, you can explain to our viewers what is water.
Well, water, the definition of water is quite difficult, like if we go into the scientific terms.
Yes, yes, yes.
But to simplify it in the layman's language, it would be like water is life.
Exactly.
Because to me, I believe that without water, we can't, we can't survive. Personally,
Yeah.
to survive, we need water. And following that, water is a resource that sustains life. It's a resource that, or it is the fuel for our survival and also the survival of our planet. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, someone out there, you know water is life, and without water, we can't survive. You can survive with any other thing, but with water, you can't survive because water is everything. Water is life. So, yeah, he has told us what is water in simple terms, not in the scientific way, because some of us are not,
Yeah.
Then about the scarcity, could you explain the scarcity? What is water scarcity? Because yeah, there are very many ways of scarcity, but water scarcity.
Yeah. To answer that, could you allow me to maybe first talk about water generally, so
Yeah.
that our viewers can get to understand water? Because as I said that it is such a paradox.
Mm,
How do we come from the most abundant resource, and
mm,
then when we reach ground, we say it is scarce?
mm,
Water, if we look at it by volume and by volume,
mm,
this is planet Earth. Most people refer to it as the blue planet. Why? Because if you see it from outside, it is blue, but that is possible because the most percentage by volume of the Earth's surface, it is water. And 70%, 71% by record, the Earth's surface is water. That means that it leaves the less value, that is 29%, to other things like land. So when we look at that 71% by volume, we are talking about 1.86 billion cubic kilometers. That is the volume of the entire water on India on Earth.
mm.
And when we hear such numbers, water is too much. That water is too much. Hmm? But then to subdue that down to understand this topic clearly, we have to look at still the numbers. Of the 71% Earth's surface, it is water. Part of that, 97.5% of that, it is salt water. That includes all the water in the oceans and also in the seas. That
Yeah.
means that that is not consumable. So 97.5% of the water we have on Earth, we can't rely on it. It is not consumable.
Yeah.
And if it was to be consumable, it would be so expensive, to transform it into consumable water. So from the 97% of water, that leaves the 2.5% fresh water. So the 2.5 fresh water, it is the water that we can rely on. And in this 2.5%, that includes all the waters in the lakes and all the waters in the rivers, all the waters in icebergs, glaciers, and also the aquifers down below, So, but if we talk of the icebergs, that water can't be accessed. So from the 2.5%, only 1% of the Earth's water is only consumable water. What does that tell us? That tells us that we actually don't have adequate water on Earth. Like the water we have is not enough for the entire people that we have. As much as we are living on the water planet, but then the consumable water, the water that really makes a difference for people to survive, it is really inadequate. Yeah. So if we have that 1% of water, that can define the reason as to why we have the issue of scarcity. Why is water an abundant but yet still a scarce resource? So we are surviving on only the 1% water that is from the fresh water that is from lakes, rivers, and then the aquifers and also the swamps and everything as you know. So that is only so all the water that people rely on in the world, it is from the 1% that is present. So uh, if I go back still to the reports or the studies that have been done, there is a UN report that was published in 2023. It talks about this issue and water scarcity is such a big tragedy to the population of the earth. The study shows that 2.2 billion people, that is 2,200 million people, yeah, they don't have access to safe drinking water. And when we talk about safe drinking water, we can be talking about uh, you have water, but then you can't take it directly. Or even if you're taking it, it is not safe. That is where we go into healthy hazards and everything. Yeah, and this is done due to the growing population, development of cities. When a city develops, waste accumulates. Also industrialization. So such kind of stuff leads or bring us down to this issue of scarcity
Yes.
of water. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, our esteemed guest, Mr. Joel. Oh my goodness, the content is so much. I think by the time we leave this place, my head will be like, thank you so much. So,
Yeah.
our viewer out there, I think you're getting this point about water. And now, since has covered most part of the deep information that anyone requires to know about water, I think we are going to share his contact. His contacts. You're going to get him. So, why do you think that the water, this resource is scarce? Like in simple terms, for a layer human being to like to understand.
So for a person, like to make this understandable to the general public,
Yeah, yeah.
why water is scarce. First of all, there are a lot of stuff to talk about, like from what I've just talked about,
Yes, yes.
from the volumes of water that we depend on. But then we have to, talk about stuff like the development of the cities. Let us look at pollution itself. Pollution pollution is making water scarcity a thing because water could be there. Recently, we saw how Lake Victoria is dying because of pollution from the industries and from the city itself. As much as we are developing, we are putting some resources of the world behind, or we are degrading their quality. So Lake Victoria is dying because of the growing population, because of the failed systems of disposal or failed management of the councils or the city councils. So water in that, to the people residing around the shores, water scarcity is a thing. Water scarcity is a thing because of pollution.
Yes.
You can talk of pollution. They are living on the shores of a freshwater lake, but then pollution because of pollution, they can't get the water, we have to look at climate change.
Yes.
Climate change is such a broad aspect, like it affects us. Some people have red flags about it, they don't believe it whatsoever, but it is affecting each one of us directly or indirectly. And so we, through climate change, water scarcity, this is how water scarcity is a problem.
Yes.
Climate change changes rain patterns. Many communities depend on rainfall. And actually, one of the safest ways to save water is to rely on rainwater, to harvest rainwater. Yeah, it is such a good solution. And so when the rain patterns change, we don't have the downfall of rain. So the soil is not supplied with water. That means that farming itself is going to become a difficult it's going to become difficult. Agriculture itself is affected. Uh, we can face even inflation of food stuff, everything, just because from a point of climate change, water scarcity, and then which gets to affect us from our access to food and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Water scarcity, we can go on and talk about other different things or factors that bring about water scarcity, and we can't get to fathom it all, but climate change is a big player, and also pollution caused by us, and also it goes back to climate change, which is a cause of climate change. Yeah, so
Yeah. Thank you so much, my activist, my esteemed activist. Also, to add on your point, I think also misuse and overuse of water. How do you see it in water also being a contribution to water scarcity? Like overuse and mismanagement of water. It's also, I think.
overuse, actually, yeah, we, like, from the point of view that as I told you that there is actually not adequate water to support the entire community or the entire earth, and also like projecting, also looking into the future. Research, like also research done by the UN, it shows they projected by 2050, like water scarcity would have increased, we would have increased by 30%.
Oh.
So it is a big problem if we look into the future. To also understand, like, it is indeed a big thing. Sometime back, some few years back, water also became a resource for trade. Like on the world market,
Yeah.
water is it is traded. It is on the stock market. People are on the stock exchange market. That shows that people are betting on water. Some big of billionaires are there planning on how they are going to rule the future just by managing water. So for us right now, we don't have in our countries, we don't have a centralized system like to distribute water to each and every homestead. Water here in Uganda is actually expensive. Did you know that? For developed countries, we are ahead, like we are times 10 the water bill. So water at our side, it is expensive. Excuse me, the question, I feel like I'm getting lost here.
It's okay. I just had a contribution, and also I just said misuse and overuse of water. It also could be a contribution, like a contributing factor to
water scarcity.
water scarcity.
So misuse of water is a contributing factor to water scarcity. So let me come from this angle. When you study water, or when you operate with water, here in Uganda we have the National Water and Sewage Corporation. And I worked at a Ugolobi plant, and here we were treating sewage. So we have different kinds of wastes. There's storm water, like the runoff and everything. So this all goes back to be treated. But why should we treat all that water? To treat water costs money.
Exactly.
So if that water is treated, it costs money to treat that water. It is going to come back to you expensive. And why should you cry that the water prices are going high, yet we are the very people who are polluting or who are misusing the water?
Yeah.
And also, if you mismanage the water, it does not go back to the scarcity problem, but also okay, it comes back to the scarcity problem in a way that we misuse it, and then after using water, maybe showering, uh, some industries, they can mismanage water,
Mm,
and we don't have a centralized system to transfer the sewers. It is not centralized yet in our country,
mm,
so it becomes very hard for the government to manage all the wastewater. So what happens to this wastewater? After you wash it, what do you do with your water? You just
poor.
pour. you know uh, what happens to the some industries, these small industries that are not managed? What happens to their waste? They just release it to the environment. What does
Exactly.
that do? It leaches into the ground, and
Mm-hmm.
in the ground we have our aquifers, the streams. These get polluted, and how does it bring back to water scarcity? You're going to see that the water that is flowing in the rivers is no longer safe for consumption. It also needs to be treated again. The
Yeah.
water that is flowing into the lake itself, it's cleaning the lake, and it's also making it expensive to, you know, back then people used, like, who were residing by the lake, they would just go fetch some water from the lake and consume
Yeah.
it. But then what's happening now? The lake is polluted.
Yeah.
That's water scarcity. You can reside alongside the lake, but then your water is secure. You have to buy water. So that is water scarcity.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And in your explanation, I also understand that we might have one of the factors that's leading to water scarcity is also maybe there's quality versus quantity. Or is it quantity versus quality? Water might be abundant as said,
Mm.
but again it's quality for
Yeah,
human
yeah,
consumption in your
yeah.
explanation. So actually I'm learning a lot. There's something that I didn't know, but it has
Yeah,
opened my eyes. You have opened my eyes just now.
yeah. Putting it that way, like, from quantitatively,
Mm,
we know the volumes of water as we've discussed. Yeah.
mm,
So that is another aspect of scarcity. But then qualitatively,
mm.
we are looking at how what is the quality of the water you have?
Yeah, yeah,
What is the quality of the water you have?
yeah. Mm,
Is that water consumable? Can you let your kids go
mm.
and take that water? So that is a thing of quality, and
Thank you so much, Mr. Niyonsma. Um, as we are getting to the climax of it,
mm,
so as an environmental activist, as someone who is so passionate about this,
yeah.
what do you think could be the possible ways how we can at least try? I know it's very hard, but maybe there could be some remedies that can, we say reduction on
Mm,
scarcity, because I know it's kind of hard, though we can sometimes they say things are possible, we can reduce on the water scarcity. So
mm.
as an environmental activist, as someone has given us all that content, what do you say that can be done to maybe some remedies for water scarcity?
Well, before tackling that,
Mm-hmm.
let me just give you maybe an overview
Mm.
on what can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we say that to change the world, it
Mm.
starts with one person.
Yes.
So we have these global problems.
Mm.
This thing is not only in Uganda,
Mm.
but it's also all around the world.
Yeah, yeah.
We say that 2.2 billion people, uh, they don't have access to safe drinking water.
Mm.
So how can we tackle that? Personally, I led a project. I was funded by an organization called Infonai. Infonai, they tell stories. So through storytelling, they raise awareness, and they also drive solutions to different people and different communities.
Mm.
And Infonai, for them, they are focusing on the Nile basin.
Mm.
We have the Nile. The River Nile is flowing over
Mm.
11 countries, and it's supplying over 600 million people with water. So yeah, that's how huge it is.
Mm.
And like, what are they doing? They are helping people, like an individual like me. I have a project, I have a story to tell.
Mm.
So they are collectively helping people.
Mm.
If they can't find you, they can tell your story. And through storytelling, we can drive solutions back to our sources or back to our communities. For my particular project, I was uh, I was looking into water scarcity, and also the paradox as it is with this theme. But I was I subdued this problem to a particular village. It is Chinyara village. It is in Chigumba Town Council, that is Chidandongo district. So we came to realize that as much as we hear water is so near and water is so abundant, how are the people surviving near these communities, near the river itself? Uh, Chinyara village is just 8 kilometers away. 8 kilometers. That is not a far distance. But then these people in they receive, that side it is semi-arid, and they get to have these prolonged droughts. And so what happens in the prolonged droughts? Some of the boreholes dry up. If they dry up, how do they survive? They get to survive on a flowing stream that is connecting to the river Nile. But is that water safe? Is it safe for them? And how can these people be helped? They have boreholes. Like for this particular village, there are three boreholes, and over 160 families are surviving on those three boreholes. What happens to those three boreholes? They get faulty. Sometimes they break down, and it leads to water scarcity. So young children, women, mothers, young girls, they get to walk minutes, hours just to look for water. 8 kilometers. Imagine you have to walk for 4 kilometers to get a jerrycan of water, and then 4 other kilometers back home to take back that water. And that water is not even safe for consumption. And these are our families, these are our neighbors, and they are facing such problems. What should we do about it? So number one, personally, I'm a storyteller, I'm an activist, I'm an advocate. I have to drive policies. I have to tell the people who are concerned to drive solutions back to these people. So what we've done, I wrote an article, we did a documentary through photojournalism and everything. So through our stories, we were able to communicate with the Apollo Forest, and what they decided to do was to drive or to implement a solution in that very community that I operated in. So as we are talking, we are in conversations on how to establish a solar powered well that in that it is just it is not it can be expensive in implementation, but in the long run it doesn't need maintenance as it is with the boreholes. So implementation of such solution is a probable solution. We can look into rain harvesting for communities that are not in deserts. Here in Kampala, water is becoming expensive. Yeah, we can harvest water from our roofs. We can keep water and start saving from there, because if we misuse water, remember we are putting it back in the community, killing the environment, making water bills expensive. Yeah, and also I read a report by the UN. They say that and $1 invested in water saves $4. Does that make sense to you? If you invest $1 today in water, that means that you're saving $4 from the bills. Some people are how are they working? Some families they can't cope up with the national water centralized system of water distribution, but then they are starting to build their own wells at home, and then they pump their own water. So in the long run, you see how they are saving. And also, as I told you, like $1 to save $3. How does that work? Uh, you harvesting water, maybe establishing that system to harvest water, you're saving off maybe perhaps $3 monthly from the centralized system of the national water that you'll be taking from. So those are probable solutions, and most solutions are like, no, there are very many innovative solutions. People are coming up with purifiers and everything. Yeah.
Wow, I think I should just go and graduate for a PhD. This information is enough for me. Wow, I'm really,
Yeah, we keep on learning.
I'm really impressed. I thought I knew it all, but I understand there are pros in that. So thank you so much, my guest of today, and thank you for that overview
Yeah.
on water.
Yeah.
Thank you for that overview on that paradox of water being an abundant resource but again scarce.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think our viewer there watching us, I think you have gotten to know this paradox. It has not been an easy one, but someone here, a genius, has tried to break it down. Oh my goodness. So, as we conclude, shout something to the viewers.
Yeah, my viewers, we appreciate you for the support, and we're really looking forward to bringing to you much more content, because these are things that are worth learning. You have to protect the environment, and I acknowledge Daphne for the wonderful work she's doing, educating the nation, educating the youth, because we are the parents of tomorrow, and we have to fight for the future we are going to leave for our children. So through these conversations, we are sparking change. We are building a generation that is concrete in knowledge, and also that is climate aware, and also people who are connected to the environment itself, and then they have to transfer it to the next generation. We are fighting for a legacy, and my name is Joel, an industrial chemist, an advocate, storyteller, climate activist, and it's such a pleasure to be with you, Daphne, and our viewers. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks so much, our activist. By the way, he's a CEO. He's my boss. He's my boss. Somewhere
uh,
there. He talks about eco diaries. Yeah, he's very passionate. I thought, did you tell them about eco diaries?
Ecodaries, I told them, but for our change makers, the people who are listening, if you have a project that you're running in line with climate action, if you have a story you can tell about climate, be it environmental activism, be it art, but bringing it through the lenses of activism and environment, we at Eco Diaries, we tell those stories. You have a story, we can get your article published online at our blog. Yeah, that is Eco Diaries for you. And you can reach out to Daphne herself. She manages the people that bring in their stories. Yeah.
By the way, when you're introducing yourself, some guests I bring and my viewers always ask me in the comment section,
Yeah.
is this person dating? Are they single? So you didn't talk about that part.
We should leave that part out. It is not business, and for those people, they should know that here we are doing business, and we are advocating for the future. So that stuff, we shouldn't talk about it.
My dear viewers, in case you want his contact, I'll give it to you. Don't die alone. So thanks so much, our
Thank you,
guest for
Daphne.
today. For everyone who wanted to know about water, I think my boss here, my CEO, has broken down all the hard information, and we should know that water is, we may have water in abundance, but it is scarce when you get to realize it. Thank you for this beautiful topic. Thank you for this beautiful discussion. It has been so of good impact to me. I have learned a lot. It has opened my eyes somewhere. And yeah, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for
Appreciate you
also
so much.
honoring my request. Like, thank you for honoring my invitation. Because yeah, it was so, I was so happy when you said you were coming,
Yeah.
and I couldn't wait to have you. My dear viewers, thank you for always supporting me. Thank you for always viewing. Thank you for always sharing and liking. Yeah, in the same time, same place. Thank you so much.